You're just gonna surprise me like that with a show intro?
Surprise! I made a new intro.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. That's also like sometimes when I'll like after the big key moments and all that stuff, I'll get into MPX. We'll do the whole thing, and like I'll look up and a new show intro is there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, a new song, a new. That's awesome though. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was something I had been working on it, but with last week happening, I was like, let me just go ahead and finish it, and it was perfect too because I had so much footage from last week. So yeah,
Kidding.
but yeah, I know. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is This Week on MPX on the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. Shout out to everybody for tuning in, tapping in. Listen, we got a great show for you guys. And you know what it is. It's MPX. We're coming off a very, very, very monumental weekend, a very monumental event that had so much buzz going into it and just as much buzz coming out of it, leading us into a stacked card this coming weekend. Joining me as always, my co-host, The Choice, Matt Andrews. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey man, thank you so much. And man, no kidding. Not just a huge historic week for MPX, but for women's wrestling in general.
Absolutely.
The buzz around that show is still going on. And
Yes.
that's some staying power there, especially in a day and age where like we're really quick to move on to the next one really
Yep.
quick. The fact that people are still talking about this is pretty monumental. And a lot came out of it that is also reflected on AEW television as well, which
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
Yep. And you're talking about the tag team with Mercedes Moné and Athena, which we saw both of them. First of all, that was a holy shit moment in itself, right?
100%. So peeling back the curtain just a little bit, not enough where I would get into trouble or whatever. But before the show, Athena's all like telling us how stuff's gonna go down tonight, and she goes, "Just so you know, there's two surprises. Security, you're gonna have to be ready because people are probably gonna want to jump the barrier to try to get to this person." And I'm thinking, it was either, in my mind, it was either going to be Mercedes, so I kind of called it in my head, or it was going to be Toni Storm. One of the two.
Wow.
But as soon as I saw that Athena was bringing out a new title, I was like, I bet you it's going to be Mercedes. And you guys, the way that she came out, like, and now it's almost a meme everywhere, right? Where it's like, if you say a new title, Mercedes Moné is there. Like, she just introduces herself whenever somebody's getting a new title.
It's so awesome too, because it's like new title. Oh, look at me! I won a title, and it's like she pops up. It's comical, but in this case, it was awesome.
You know what somebody needs to do, or you know what Mercedes needs to do? She needs to recreate that Cody Rhodes, like the zoom in from afar and like doing this for the belt, like time, and then she could just play that GIF, and it's just new belt. She did it with Priscilla Kelly.
She did. She
wanted
did.
to do time over the weekend, and then Mercedes Moné with the eyes emoji. Like it's perfect, and I love it. And I love that MPX got to be a part of all of that.
Yep, absolutely, man. And it was so surreal in the building.
Oh yeah.
It was in the building. It was surreal just seeing it. Here's a quick story. Here's a quick story, which I told you I had a story for the show, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting next to someone whose first ever wrestling event that they ever went to was All In. And so she tells me, like, I'm sitting down, we're getting ready for the show to start, and she's like, this is my first ever show outside of the All In show. And I'm like, you're gonna love it, first and foremost. like you picked a hell of a night to come. And I was like, this is normally a great crowd, but tonight it's probably gonna be times 10. Wasn't wrong.
No,
but she had a sign with her. She had brought a sign, and on the sign it said CEO. So I'm looking at the sign. I'm like, that's interesting. So she's like, yeah, Mercedes posted on X that she was responding to someone, and she was like, be ashamed to, she was responding to Athena, and she was like, it'd be a shame if someone surprised you and got the belt.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And she's like, I brought this sign just in case she was here. So when she came out, that lady freaked all the way out. It was awesome, bro. Like completely lost her mind. It was amazing to see.
That's crazy. To have that foresight to be able to look at something like that on site, and again, power of social media, right?
Yep.
Like you can manifest something almost.
Yep.
That's amazing. What a great story. And like hopefully that's another new MPX addict. Just out of that.
She already said, she was like, because she said, I live 30 minutes away, so I can't make every weekend. But she was like, with these, I will definitely be here.
So look, of course, not soon. Like for the last year and a half that I've been doing this ring announcing thing, I'm just saying, I live an hour away. I make it. I'm just saying.
Hey. Whatever gets them there, right?
if they wanted to, they would, Galvin.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, and what's crazy is that like that was just one surprise. Obviously, the biggest surprise, but that was just one surprise on a night completely full of surprises, and not just appearances, but announcements as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
Obviously, the thing that Mercedes came out to interrupt is the fact that MPX is going to have a new women's title, and I'm incredibly interested to see how this shapes up and what the American Joshi Championship is compared to the MPX Women's Championship, because it doesn't, like, American Joshi Championship does not sound like it would be a secondary women's championship, right?
Right.
And it wasn't competed for at this show. And I'm very curious to see how this ends up playing out, because you may have noticed, and people may have noticed, there hasn't exactly been a ton of women's wrestling on MPX up until past weekend, right? Reese Clark and Shay Carmichael have had their title defenses here and there, but aside from that, you remember last year when the women's championship was first introduced, and Erica Torres ended up winning it. There was women's matches all over. Sometimes
right.
That's big for an indie scene, right?
Yeah.
And so kind of curious to see where this belt ends up going and what ends up becoming of it and what the scene is surrounding it. So very curious to see that. And, God forbid, like, man, not God forbid, but like, please, God willing, will Mercedes Moné actually compete for this championship? Because
that is a very interesting prospect.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, what's surprising to me is that coming out of this and the fact that everyone calling Mercedes and Athena sisters, best friends, whatever it is, like that is now translating to AEW television.
Yep.
You've got Tony Storm and Alex Windsor going up against Athena and Mercedes, and Athena and Mercedes are doing TikToks. They're doing, like vignettes and all that stuff, and they're pulling around. And MPX is, I don't want to say MPX is the genesis of that, but it's definitely where it got the most notoriety.
Absolutely. It's where we first saw them in a ring together. And, not on opposition with each other, but, what that moment is going to be something legendary. I wholeheartedly agree. It's going to be something legendary. It's going to be a moment in time to where, because you are looking at two of the front runners of the women's division overall, the whole thing. Like these are two of the best to do it. So them carrying this division forward like they are that's a moment in time that you're going to look back at and be like, this was the genesis of it all. And it's crazy fitting that it's in MPX.
Yeah. And like, it's you and I can say we were there.
Yes.
There's not a whole lot of moments in my life where I can say, "Oh my God, I was there." But this is one of those where I can say I
Yep.
was. Um, Real quick, just while it's in my head, another thing of I can say I was there. I've been there for both of Bryan Danielson's returns. I was there when SmackDown was in Dallas, and he, came out of hiding and kind of announced that he was going to start getting back in the ring and all that.
Yep.
Was there for that, and then at AEW when he came to the ring and did the whole Blue Panther thing or whatever. It's like cool. So there might not be a lot of things I can say I was there for, but I was there for those.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And that's crazy. And being in the building that night, you could feel it, man. You could feel it in the parking lot. Just walking to the building, you could feel it. And you could feel that there was something monumental about to happen.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy about just talking about the event itself is I don't have a favorite match because every match was a 10. Every single match was a 10.
Yeah, and it blended kind of the current philosophy of AEW and WWE PLEs, right? And the idea that less is better. This was not a 10 card show. This was not a, stacked matches back to back. This gave us quality, and but it was concentrated quality, right? Almost like NXT Black and Gold kind of days, right? Where it was like
very much
5 or 6 matches, maybe, right? But they were all certifiable bangers.
Yep. And that's exactly what this card was. And I knew when we started with Maya versus Billy Starks, I was like, this is where we're starting. It's like, man.
And it
it just built. Yep. Yeah. It built and built and built until that main event, man. And it was up and down the card. It was just nothing but greatness. And I'm glad to say I was in the building for that.
Same here, man. And like we talked about last week when we were previewing this event, that bad bitch brawl ended up being that was
crazy.
That was more hardcore than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be a fatal 4-way kind of thing, right?
Right.
But then stuff just kept coming out, and I was there for it, man. I 100% the chairs, the doors, the knocking on the door spot with Nyla Rose and Morgan Mercy,
awesome. That was awesome.
Everything that wrestling should be, which is enjoyable and fun and just like that. That's great in that kind of an environment.
It very much is, man. And speaking, we'd be remiss if we didn't say that, the women's title did change hands. We have a new women's champion.
Yeah.
And that is Abaddon.
And that's crazy to me.
Good luck to everybody else.
I can't remember. I can't remember the last time a nationally recognized name like Abaddon, like a former TV person, held an MPX championship. I want to say, I think Sean Waltman has held the MPX tag team titles. I think that's right. I know for sure that Jerry Lynn has held the MPX championship. He gave it away. He retired it that night. He was done with it that night, but he won it. That's in history books. But
that's a heck of a
moving to this building and doing I can't remember a time when somebody as over as Abaddon has won an MPX championship. And that's cool.
That's awesome. What's more awesome is you can see it on their face when they won it.
Yes.
The look on their face and the happiness, you could see that it meant something to them. And that was more in itself awesome than them actually winning it.
Sure. And then the constant promotion of it after the fact, right?
Right.
They were still talking about it the next day. They're still promoting that they're the MPX championship. And of course, they're back in action again this weekend.
Yep. Against Shay Carmichael, which we'll get into later. But yeah, just the fact that they won it And shout out to Riza too. Riza for whatever her struggles were that night. I know she had problems with quote unquote spooky bitches, but shout out to her because she was a champion that led the dance to this event. But Abaddon getting it done.
Sure.
I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either, honestly. And no offense like to the predictability sometimes of indie wrestling booking, but like, you've got somebody who's kind of a mainstay around here in Reza Clark. You kind of think that they're going to end up keeping the championship. No, it's a good surprise move, and it garners a lot of attention again. So
it does.
Move as sad as I am to say. Now, that's not to say that I don't think Reza should 100% just start coming right back for it. I think that absolutely needs to happen. But
I do too.
Yeah, and I think rematch clause should 100% be invoked. Obviously, it can't be this weekend because Abaddon's busy and Reza is actually up in Chicago. But
interesting.
I think it would be a really good, I think, for a long-term story to be told with the MPX Women's Championship.
Very much. And there's something there. There's meat on the bones with that as well. That was one hell of a match.
Yes. There's meat on the bones with a lot of different things too. It's a whole chicken, man.
Absolutely.
We've got another surprise in the night was Nixon Newell.
Immediately after that match.
And Nixon Newell got the holy shit chant.
Yes.
Which is great. That's so
yes.
And
this is what it felt like in the audience. It's like this big high, and you think the show's over because it's a nonstop high the whole night, and then you think the show's over, and then Nixon comes out, and it's like, wait a minute, like I wasn't even expecting this, and here we go with this, and it's like, what is happening? And in that moment, it's like, bro, we leveled up. That's what it felt like. We leveled up
100%. I texted you during the show, and I was like, I kind of want to spoil this, but I really don't want to. I saw Nixon backstage at intermission, and I was like, God, why does that person look familiar? Because I haven't seen her on TV in so long. I was like, oh my God, that's Nixon Newell. That's Deacon Knox. The hell?
You sent me two. The first one made me laugh out loud because Mercedes is back here casually eating an apple, and I'm like,
oh yeah, seriously,
that's awesome.
Sitting in the chair, just eating an apple, and then every now and then somebody would come up and be like, "Can I get a stand up, take a picture, sit back down, eat an apple?" I'm like, sure. They're
cool.
She's
too cool.
But the kudos and thanks to Nixon, because that's all she did. She just came out, stepped down, and she left. It's crazy to me that somebody on the level of Nixon Newell would come out to just do that, which tells me that's a setup for something longer term, which is wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I overheard Athena talking to Nixon afterwards saying like, this could be a setup for something more. I want you to experience this. And like, that's great. Like, that's the kind of stuff that we want to see. And if Athena is booking this next show, right, and she is, right, we have Who Runs the World 2 coming.
Yep.
You got to think Nixon's going to be in there, right?
You have to, right? You have to think she's going to be there. And here's the crazy part. Who Runs the World 2, we already have 2 huge acts announced for that show.
And there's other surprises. There's other ones, right?
Like, crazy stuff, man.
Nikki Blackheart was already like, I came across Nikki Blackheart maybe like 2 or 3 months ago on Threads, and I was like, who is this freaking jacked woman right now? Like, that's how impressive is that? That's really cool. But then to see Chris Statlander there, come on.
Take my money. Take my money.
who needs money, right? I mean, gee. And that's coming around the time where I'm going to have a kid. And it's just like, dang. but that's going to be outstanding to be able to see Chris Statlander
Very much, man. Very
in
much.
the X ring. Like, blows my mind.
Very much. Guys, if you're tuned in, thank you for tuning in first and foremost. But let us know your thoughts. Don't just watch, comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you thought of Who Runs the World, how big you think this was. What are your expectations for Who Runs the World? Let us know. Hit the chat. We'll bring your comments up.
I love interacting with you guys in the chats.
Absolutely.
And more about the crowd that was there. So, like, there were at least 2 or 3 people that were, like, had randomly followed me on Twitter that came to this show, right? I'm sorry, on X, whatever. And
it
so
is
that's
what it is.
And somebody flew out from Jersey to come
to the show. Yep.
And I, like, this is, I don't know, it's like whatever the opposite of imposter syndrome is, right? Where it's like, where the hell, like, who comes to Bedford, freaking Texas, right? Like,
right.
That's right. Like when I worked at a hotel and I would come across all these like foreign exchange students or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Collin College." I'm like, "Who the hell flies from Japan and comes to freaking Collin College? What the hell is that?"
Yeah, why?
Like, you came from Jersey to attend a wrestling in Bedford, but that's the power of this show.
Yep.
And that's great. And this makes MPX now a national brand. And that's fantastic for everyone involved in this scene, not just MPX, but all of North Texas wrestling. Because now people are going to be like, well, what else is there if it's not MPX? Well, now you got DFW All Pro. Now you've got Matt War Pro. Now you've got EPW. Now you've got Iron Warriors Pro, which is making their debut next week. This is good for the business.
Very good. Very good. And the fact this show got so much attention. So shout out, because not only were people driving and flying to the event, you had like 1,500 people watching this thing on Twitch.
Oh man.
And I was in the chat for it. I couldn't be, I had to be in the moment, but I would pop in the chat every now and then, and it was nonstop, bro. And I was like, this would be an awesome night. But I was in the moment the whole night.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that was, as I told you, like that was my first ever time being involved in Twitch in any form or fashion. I literally signed up for an account that morning because I've never done. And that was cool. That was like watching all the comments and watching people absolutely mark the hell out when Mercedes came through, when they were marking out at the commercials. And now which I should have been doing all along, I saw what it looks like from the streaming perspective. And I know what you guys see. That was cool.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And like the times I did pop in there, like just seeing your comments and how you were educating the people on like who this person is and where they go, I was like, that's pretty awesome, because I don't think to do that. But the fact that you were in there doing that type of stuff, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool that he's doing that.
See, and I not tooting my own horn or anything like that, but you got to know that, like, if you're inviting people from all over the world to watch it on a broadcast, you got to understand there's going to be people there that have zero clue as to what's happening. Like, why do I care about Shay Carmichael and Emmy Camacho fighting? Okay, well,
right.
They've done this all over Texas, and Shay's a former women's champion and all that good stuff, and that kind of lends itself to the storyline. And I thought that was probably a good thing to bring into for this.
That was awesome. It really was awesome to see, man.
And I think more indie promotions need to, if they're going to try to get themselves out on the map or get themselves in the eyes of people around the world, well, you got to let people know who they are. Why do we care? People, if they can't tell us themselves because you're just tuning into a match, somebody should tell them what's up. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. So monumental event, but we do have to talk about this weekend, because they are following this up with some great action this weekend.
Yeah, I hate saying back to your regularly scheduled programming. It kind of was. already. But yeah, now we get to see what MPX like, and this is a very important show for MPX.
Very, very.
The last weekend, sure, absolutely, it was important. Did you kind of know though that it was already going to be a huge success, just given the caliber of the talent? Yeah, kind of. I mean, you were bringing in former TNA Knockouts champion, right? I mean, like you knew the
Right.
attention. Now's the follow up. Now you've exposed MPX to 1,500 people on Twitch, to 220, 240 people in the MPX Event Center. And now you've sold out front row. So now people are going to be like, all right, if I'm going to go to this bigger venue where it's not necessarily as intimate, still intimate, but still not as intimate, why am I going to be doing this? Well, now you've got a chance at Saved by the Bell to show people this is what we're about.
Yep. Yep. And you started it off strong too with one of the first announcements, and that's Abaddon versus Shay Carmichael, because we're following up the end of Who Runs the World and making this a part of this show. So you're bringing the champion from that won the title from that show and bringing it into Saved by the Bell. Excellent move.
And putting them against a former champion in Shay Carmichael. And I know Shay's a little miffed. She posted it earlier why it wasn't mentioned that she was a former champion. I get it. I would be upset too.
Yep.
But like that's a money move right there. If you can't
really
is to come back to challenge for it, you get the one that was right behind.
Yep.
And having Abaddon go against Shay is a fantastic move. And you'll notice that's also, as of right now, it's the only title match on the card.
Yep, as of right now.
Which, and that, again, puts it in the spotlight.
Yep, puts it right in the spotlight. And Shay's coming off a win, too. She beat Emmy Camacho.
Yeah. So a new attitude almost for America's Sweetheart. One that we've seen glimpses of in the past, but a little bit more dastardly and sassy almost. And I think that's kind of the energy. Like she really needs to turn that up if she's going up against the Living Dead girl.
I'm not gonna lie, I like it. I do want her to turn that dial up just a little bit more, but yep. I like where she's going with it.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I think Shay is much more natural in that environment.
Oh, really?
I just think that her mannerisms, the way she approaches her ring work and like goes in and like how she carries herself in the ring, I think it lends itself more to that kind of a sassy attitude.
Yeah. I like it. Not gonna lie to you, I like it.
Yeah, so that's definitely marquee match number one. We've also got to settle who's the number one contender for the tag team championships. Where Most Wanted, who made who was very impressive debut against the Sons of Mayhem a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Going up against House Sagan, right?
Yeah, it's House Sagan. It's Michael Schaefer and the Big Kahuna, and Caleb Riley. Yep.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting too. I don't know who the addicts are going to be behind on that one. But I think anytime you go up against House Sagan, you're kind of automatically a favorite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting, I don't think I've seen this combo before.
Schaefer and Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not in just tag team by themselves. We've seen them in, like 6-man or
right
together or whatnot. Yeah, no, this is going to be another really good test for Caleb Riley as well, who showed himself well in singles competition after getting the moniker Cool Breeze. But coexisting with the corporate director of security will also be a good test for the newest member of House Sagan.
Absolutely, man. And number one contendership on the line here.
Yep.
I like it.
I like it too. House Sagan is not done there though, because Tatum Manning, of course, will take on the Tommy Becker. And you want to talk about sleepers? That probably has the potential to be a sleeper match of the night, knowing Tommy Becker and Tatum.
Two former MPX champions.
Yep, 100%. And just again knowing their work rate, knowing how they function inside the ring. I'm very curious to see, and I'm also curious to see if I know Devin Anello's face is on that card.
Yes.
Kind of wondering how that all is going to play out. I know the Defiant one is going to be in action. Don't know against who. There's some other people on that card that haven't had matches announced. But it'd be interesting to see how Devin Anello interjects himself against the person that beat him a couple of weeks ago.
Very interesting stuff there.
Yep.
Very interesting stuff there. And real quick on Tatum. The fact that he's bought in so much to House Sagan, he's starting to remind me of the old Tatum Manning.
Which old Tatum Manning? There have been
The
so
old,
many iterations of
the
Tatum
one,
Manning.
the one that held the MPX title.
Oh, gotcha.
Lost it and then left for a while. That guy was ruthless.
Yeah. That's the version of Tatum Manning that my son was first introduced to. And when we were in the crowd for his first ever MPX event, my son was jeering along with Tatum and like getting on his case. But yeah, there's no denying that Tatum Manning in that capacity has the capabilities to do a whole lot of damage.
Yes, he does. And there's glimpses coming out. And I'm like, he's coming back.
Yeah.
he's coming back.
He looks comfortable and he's kind of
does.
smile again, and even before he was forced to join House Sagan, it didn't seem like Manning had a whole lot to smile about. He was
right.
Intensity all the time. He was constantly chip on his shoulder kind of thing. And now he looks more relaxed. And being more relaxed, it just makes him more lethal in the ring because he's finally settling in and being comfortable with what he is. That's dangerous.
That is very dangerous for anyone he comes across.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they've got history here too, and I like the history leading into this match. Just want to know will they get through this match cleanly or not? That's the issue.
Shenanigans, my friend.
All shenanigans. I'm a fan of shenanigans too. Yep. Speaking of shenanigans, let's talk Travis Cuddy versus Man of set 6.
Yes, absolutely. And especially after 2 weeks ago with Man in set 6 beating down Travis Cuddy in the parking lot and basically Jamie Aller telling him to quit coming to MPX or else he would face a beatdown. Well, obviously we know that the Texas is not going to be doing that.
I love that name.
The Texas Crash Out?
Yes, I love that name. Trademark it.
It's a lot of fun to say in the ring, too. I'm not going to lie. It's great. But, Travis Cuddy is very quickly rising up the ranks of, like, super popular MPX of stars, right? The addicts love him. He's high energy, high dynamic. He can fly. He can ground. He's a good in-ring performer. And putting him against somebody like Man, who honestly, in the last few weeks, Man has really come into his own. Really just stepped out of the shadow of having to be just the smack talker of set 6. Like, guy is showing that he's got what it takes to go ahead and compete against it. And I'm very interested to see how this matchup turns out.
This comes from the absence of Demo Diamond
and
the emergence of JD Griffey. And I firmly believe Man being put in this position is bringing out the best of him because he's having to prove like, hey, I'm that guy too. Don't forget that. And I think that put a chip on his shoulder. I like it. Keep the chip there because you're right. He is starting to come into his own.
Well, and you got to think, like, the whole group of set 6 started with Man.
Yeah.
So I when you start a group like that, and then all of a sudden you see people starting to take over and all that, you kind of get a little defensive. So good on Man for trying to step up and kind of take care of the business, as it were. So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Then we got Sky Dela Cremosa versus Ethan Hunter.
Yeah, Ethan Hunter has been making a lot of waves in MPX recently as well. Third appearance, I believe, for the Bitter Brit, and a coming off of when they were in a triple threat a couple of weeks ago and not taking the loss very well.
No, and this ain't a bounce back match by any means.
No, definitely. If you want to make a statement, that's one thing, but it's really, really ballsy to make a statement at the expense of the Texas Chainsaw. Like, I think Hunter better be counting his lucky stars that this is not any sort of street fight or hardcore match. But I'd be interested to see the result of this match, because it would not surprise me if that kind of a match was in the future for Ethan Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I can see that going there real quick.
Oh,
really quick.
and speaking of hardcore people, we know that Rex Mori is in action again as well, going up against the grimy one, Dalton Gray, with the rest of the squad not around. It's going to be Dalton and himself.
But Dalton's another one coming into his own.
Yes.
Right? He's proven he can stand. He can stand on his own when he needs to. And he's been showing me some things lately.
Yeah, I'm always going to be a Dalton Gray supporter. I may not enjoy his tactics from time to time, but in recent weeks, he's certainly shown that he can definitely, I don't want to say he can hang with them, because that's kind of an insult almost to him, but like, the guy doesn't need anybody else to stand on his own, kind of thing. He can do it himself.
Right.
And Rex needs a win. Let's be honest. Rex needs a win.
He does. He does. I thought he had one in the bag at the Purge, but he dropped that one. And yeah, he's in need of a win.
He's on a losing streak right now.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate, because he's incredibly talented. He's incredibly talented.
Very much.
He's got all the drive in the world. He just tends to get in his own way sometimes. And I think this is a good match against Dalton Gray to kind of let him step back, kind of recenter himself, and then potentially start going on something. But he's got to win this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, he really does need a win. I'm with you on that, because he is talented. You can see it in him. And I don't know. He's kind of like Tatum Manning in a sense to me, because he's an emotional guy at times. And, and if it gets off kilter, he loses that focus. That match is good as gone. And that's the matches he's lost. That's what I've seen. Emotionally, he dives off the deep end a little bit, and then loses that little bit of composure he needs to win the match. He figures that out. I think he's on the bigger and better things. But you're right. He does need this win this weekend.
Yeah. Saved by the Bell. I love the theme of the show, right?
Yep.
Back in school, right? My kid just started 4th grade, which is nuts. But yeah, the poster's really cool as hell too.
Love it.
But, to any of the MPX talent watching, I got to say, really got to put your best foot forward on this. Not that you guys don't every single show, but you got to think of the number of eyes that are on you now. Now people know what Metroplex Wrestling is. And now people understand they can watch you online, on Twitch. You got to understand there's so many more eyes on you, which is great. That's so many more opportunities to audition for literally anything. So this is a statement maker kind of weekend for everybody involved in Metroplex Wrestling. And I hate that I am not going to be there. I hate it, but also the fact that I'm going to be on a beach in Cabo makes me hate it just a little bit less. But
you don't have to rub that one in, because it's hot. You're going to be by the water, man.
I am happy to be turning the reins over for the next couple of weeks to Kennedy, who killed it at
Shout out to Kennedy.
Yeah. And I've admired her work all the time. Since DFW Wall Pro, I have been a huge fan of Kennedy's, and I think that she does a fantastic job. I think the MPX addicts are going to know and love her as a great ring announcer. That's not to say I'm going anywhere, but like, I couldn't ask for a better person to step into the MPX Event Center and commandeer the crowd. So I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah, she killed it this past weekend. Killed it.
Yeah, and
shout out to Kennedy.
She hadn't done it in a while before that.
She looked comfortable. She looked comfortable in her element. Couldn't ask for more. And the fact that this was an all-women event and she added to that, can't say enough good things about her.
Yep. So, kudos to Kennedy, and I hope all the MPX addicts enjoy this monumental show that's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Please come on out. 510 Harwood Road, Bedford, Texas. It's the hottest place to be right now. So come on out. If you can't make it, the Twitch is open for business. Go to twitch.tv/Metroplex Wrestling, MPXWrestling.com to get your tickets if you can go. Please be in the building. These are some great talents that are going to put on a great show this weekend. So please come on out.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. And I will not be joining you next week because I will still be on a beach in Cabo as I rub it in for you. But
it's all right. I'll do a solo show next week. It's fine.
But obviously you're going to have a lot to talk about. The next few weeks are going to be huge for MPX. Speaking of other things, right? We were talking about Who Runs the World 2. That is happening on October 25th at Junction in Irving, Texas. We're picking up the ring and the entranceway, and we're making our way out somewhere else. It is a 1,000-seat venue, at least 1,000. And in case you guys missed the news, Front Row has already sold out for this event. So gotta get your tickets while you can.
Get your tickets
at mpxwrestling.com. Oh man, what else? Wrestling Revolver will be returning to the MPX Event Center on September 26th, whatever that Saturday is, 26th or 27th. Those tickets are also on sale. MPXWrestling.com. We're going to see a no ropes pit fight match between JD Griffey and Brick Savage. That's where that's going right there.
Shout out to Matthew Palmer. He was like, just let them kill each other at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That's you know what? I almost commented this, but I'll say it here. Of course Matthew Palmer would want that because well, who would step in and be the Revolver Texas champion then? Who would do it?
Good idea. It's a good idea.
Putting that out into the atmosphere, but there it is. And then we can't forget too. I've seemingly lost in the shuffle of all of these major and hype shows is the fact that MPX's WrestleMania is coming up too. Purple Rain is going to be the week before Wrestling Revolver, September 20th, I believe, is what that show date is. Again, whatever that Saturday is. Purple Rain tends to be the most incredible show where so many storylines originate, conclude, and that. It's going to be a huge show. And again, the first big show after Who Runs the World. It's going to be something to tune into. So again, mpxwrestling.com for your tickets. Find out, put it in your maps, 510 Harwood Road in Bedford, Texas. Bookmark it because you want to be coming out every Saturday night so you don't miss a thing.
Yep, weekly. The best weekly show in North Texas. Come in, tune out.
That's right.
Got anything else, bud?
No, man, that's all it is. I hope the addicts enjoy the shows this weekend and next weekend. I will pay attention briefly-ish, but I will try to enjoy my time out there.
Enjoy the beach, my guy. You earned it.
But yeah, I looking forward to when I come back. Looking forward to whatever chaos might have just happened.
We'll keep you informed. But I got nothing else. If you got nothing else, let's wrap this up, man.
Good, man. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. And thank you guys tuning in. Come back next time. Until then, you guys know what it is. Be safe. Take care of each other. Enjoy what you're going to enjoy. Peace.
Yes.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks, gimmicks.